Hello, this is Mr. H. This is Mr. H bringing you episode 13 of Working in Saudi Arabia for Dummies 101. And tonight's section, the second part of tonight's section, in episode, it'll be episode 13, is Eating Out in Saudi Arabia. For Richard, again, his contact is here. If you want to send me anything for details of his case, there it is again. This will be put up. What I'm recording now is a dedication not to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. You'll be hearing background music to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Finger out, please, for Richard. Just a little reminder, tongue-in-cheek. So, you'll be hearing background music. So now, today, we're going to be talking about now eating out in Saudi Arabia. Okay, there's a lot of fast food chains. They're mainly American, but there are some Nando's from South Africa, some British ones. There's the coffee shops, the American one, the very famous one with the green badge, Starbucks. There's the British one, Costa Coffee, etc. So anything, Saudi Arabia, the main streets all look the same. I've never been to, I've been to America once in my life, but I've never been to Houston. But I can imagine this is what Houston is like, just massive and horrid freeways, but full of all these chains that every chain you can name in America. Some Saudi who's been there to so-called study has come back and brought it there. So you can find everything from the McDonald's to the Kentucky to all those fast food ones, Wendy's and all the way up to the sort of higher priced American ones, what we would call chain dining, which is things like surf and turf type restaurants, steak restaurants. Now, they're generally, for an expat on a reasonable salary, they're not too expensive. You can also get much less expensive food by having local Saudi kabsa. If you like kabsa, it's usually beef or chicken or sometimes camel. You can have it. That's a unique Saudi dish. Indian food, Chinese takeaways at, again, the lower level. Yeah, I think we need to play that tune again just to keep a reminder for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. There's also sort of mid-range Egyptian, Moroccan, Lebanese, and Turkish restaurants, quite nice. Fine dining in 4 and 5 star hotels, they're expensive. Now in the big cities, you'll find that. In the smaller cities, if you were like in Arar, in the north of Saudi, there's one hotel I know of there. If you were in Kamis Mashat or Abba, the fine dining would be a real turn on that word. But what's very, very important is that you get some exercise, because people tend to overeat. As I said in an earlier section, people who would never talk about it, talk about where they went shopping, where they went eating. It's incredible. The only time I ever found something like that was in the civil service centuries ago. Right, now, back again to this. Well, if you're a Western expat, and I use that just trying to base it on cost of living in Britain or Ireland, more to my effect, is that wages have been going down for a lot of expats, Western expats. I mean, you really do want to be making $4,000 US a month, some basic insurance, and reasonable accommodation. Some expats, Western expats, especially older ones, have had their wages reduced, can you believe it, to $2,500 US a month, and benefits which are pretty garbage. A good salary for a single expat would be $6,000 a month, but they're very few and far between getting to those. You can go onto the sites to find that. Now, there's been some people, and I've been suggested by the producer of this, that personal messages, if people want to send Richard personal messages, they can send them to me on the email, which I've just said. Also, although Richard's up for a serious offense, he's not up for the most serious offense. And we wrote to Reprieve in the UK, and we really have to thank Sharif at Reprieve for replying. He sent forms to Richard that Richard then sent on to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. So I think this is with Clive Stafford Smith, who was famous for dealing with cases in America. He's now, I think, back in the West Country in England. So really, there have been people that have helped us. I'm not getting political, but even George Galloway wrote he can't get involved, but he wrote back the same day. We never heard from Piers Morgan, but we're working on it. But it's very important that, Richard's down at the moment, and it's very, very important that we keep up this campaign. So really, Foreign and Commonwealth Office, we'd like you to keep Richard always on your mind. Here we are again, cabsa.anzi@gmail.com in the free Richard H campaign. Thank you very much. Again, this is episode 13, and we're signing off for tonight. Thank you very much. Goodbye.